All right, let's go down to item number 7 to consider approval of a variance from the 75-foot septic setback requested by Michael A. Poole. Dwayne, you want to tell us about that?
Sure. Commissioner,
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is off of 290 East going towards Stonewall before the Fernald River Bridge. It was a criminal property that had been subdivided several years ago. Right before Smizinski Road turns off on the north, this property is on the south side of the river. So right past Dance Lane. I have a map, but I don't think you guys can see from there really on this map that I've got. Mickey Poole owns the property. It's in a Fredericksburg Pedernales Ranch LP, and it consists of 2 tracts, a 30-acre tract and a 90-acre tract. He's been building a wedding event venue out there, and he has gone ahead and taken 5 acres out of the 30 and part of that 90 and subdivided a little bit greater than 5 acres out, and he's going to put the wastewater system for the wedding event and for the wine tasting room on that 5 acres that he's subdivided out. Again, it's slightly larger than 5 acres. And so he, as the owner of, or part owner of the Fredericksburg Pedernales Ranch LP, has gone ahead and given himself a variance on the east side of this 5 acres. And then on the west side of the 5 acres, there's a David and Karen Harris that own that property, and they have given a variance to encroach on their property. And I have both of those affidavits for both of those tracts encroachment. So on his 5 acre tract, basically the wastewater system is going to be on the east and the west side of the tract. And then the plans are to have parking in the middle, closer to the event building. And so he has given us the affidavits that we needed, and so we're here to see if y'all would grant the variance for that, both of those variance requests then. If y'all have any questions, and it's in Dennis's, Commissioner Neffendorf's precinct.
Dwayne, I don't necessarily have a question about the variance, but you mentioned that he had split out a 5 acre tract. Didn't he need to come to us for a waiver of the
That's in the
subdivision?
city's ETJ, and back in the early 2000s, the county gave that authority to the city. And the city, I've had some communications, not directly with Mr. Jordan, but indirectly with one of the other engineers up there. And the response is that on tracts that are 5 acres and larger, the city does not have the authority, I guess, to get involved and do a subdivision review, plat review on a tract larger than 5 acres in size. I did get a letter from the surveyor, who is also the attorney for that tract, saying that it does meet the local government code, that that a plat's not required, because I wanted to cover myself and the county on that one. So we have a letter from the attorney also saying that it meets the requirements. Yes, sir.
I so move we approve this variance.
Second.
Any other questions or discussion on it? All in favor of approving that variance, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And then number 8, looks like we had a misprint, but it's another one. Consider approval of variance from 75-foot septic setback requested by Michael A. Poole.
That's correct. I can explain both of them. And the initial one is with the Fredericksburg Pedernales Ranch LP, and then the other one would be the Harris property owners on the other tract. So however you would want to address that as number 7 for whichever tract you want to call it.
Well, we need to address it, don't we?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
How do you want this number 8 addressed? To what track?
Which, I guess my question would be, which variance did you give on the first one then?
I assumed it was on the 30 acres.
Okay, on that 30 and 90 acre tract, that would be the Fredericksburg Pedernales Ranch LP.
And then what would this number 8 be on?
That would be on the David and Karen Harris
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the 75-foot septic setback by Michael Poole on the David and Karen Harris property.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor of approving that variance, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Dwayne.
Yes, sir.
Number 9, to consider approval of renewal of health services agreement with Southern Health Partners Incorporated.
Yes, Judge, you have a copy of that agreement. They sent it out here not too long ago. This is something for our next year's budget. We've already budgeted for it. It just needs to get signed so we can continue on with the contract.
And I guess the only question I've got for you and for the court, you know, we've had this agreement with them since we've had the jail open, and we've gone back and forth several times with the number of average daily prisoner count. Right now, the contract is for 80. And then if we have more than that, they charge us per diem a little bit. I think the new contract was an increase of 3% on both the base rate and the per diem rate, if I'm not mistaken. But at any rate, I guess the question I have is if we want to keep it at the 80 or if we want to go down on that. It looks like, especially in the current situation, we haven't been having that many people in jail. I don't know if it would make sense to go get a quote from them on 70 or 75, or I don't know what the average daily count has been. Somewhere around 60 or 65, I guess.
60 to 65 or something like that. It has that actual base.
One in there for just the product itself of having the nurse there. And then if we have a per diem of more than 80 inmates, then you get that $1.35 on there. And I don't know if each one of y'all, I didn't bring a copy for everybody so they could see it. I just sent it to the judge. Yeah, there was a 3% increase on that.
So right now, with average daily prisoner population figured at 80, we're paying $10,788.45 a month, or that's what the new rate would be starting October 1st. I don't know if we want to continue with that or if we want to check with them to see what it would be for I mean, we've changed it 2 or 3 times over the years trying to get that, get that closer to what our prisoner count is. Sometimes it's going up, sometimes I think it's maybe going down, but, and they've been real good to work with, so I don't know what Sheriff, what you're thinking, what it looks like for next year. If you think it's going to increase a bunch, we leave it as it is. If you think it's going to stay about what it has been, maybe we check with them to see if we can go down to 70 or 75. Well, I don't know.
I can surely check with them, but as far as as actually predicting out and then getting caught in a deal, if you want to go down to say an average of 70 inmates per day, and then they may say, okay, well, we'll come back with that, we'll go down to 70, but any per diem would then incur of maybe a $5 per head deal or something like that. But I'll tell you what, I'd be more than happy. I'll get the Chief Deputy, we'll give them a call real quick, we'll get them to see what their extra quote might be on that, on reducing it due to the current situation now. I don't believe that this is going to be something that's going to last throughout the whole next year. As far as inmate accountability and who all we get in there and how many we get, it changes every minute.
And what's max capacity? I'm sorry, I forgot. 96?
96.
Is max capacity?
Yeah.
And you've been running about 60 to 65
Yeah, 62 to 65.
the last few months?
Oh, no, for a long time. Yeah, for a long time. That's what we've been running at. But we can check with them and see.
Maybe we can get a quote for like 70 or so and see what that would be, and then we just need to decide if it would make sense to go with the lower one or continue at the 80. It may just make sense to continue at the 80.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I get back to the office, I'll give them a call and have them project something out like that for us to see. I don't know that it'll do away with the 3%. I don't think that's going to change.
It won't. We just need to check and see what that base rate and the per diem rate would be based on a prisoner count, average prisoner count of, I guess, 70.
Okay.
They've always been real good to work with, so.
Sure.
Definitely a great benefit to have out there. And it
Yeah,
works well for us.
yeah. But yeah, if Sheriff, if you don't mind, we can check on that and then we can put it back again and on the next agenda and just approve one of those and.
Yeah. Well, this is not something that doesn't start till October, but we need to have it done prior to the budget being approved here in September. So that's why I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
But we'll get in touch with them, see what
Okay.
we can do.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Let's see, did you have another one on?
Yes.
Okay, number 11, to consider approval of the state plan of operations authorizing the sheriff's office to participate in the LESO program, which is Law Enforcement Support Office.
No, my second one is the number 10. Yeah, we skipped over number 10. Yeah.
To consider approval of purchase and installation of a camera system in the jail, or alternatively going out for bids for the purchase and installation of the camera system.
Yeah, we currently, this was, I guess maybe when I sent that proposal over, there was some miscommunication on that part. This is not a new deal in this jail. We already have a system currently in the jail, but we have part of it, half of it, that's currently not operable. And so we went out for a bid to get this portion of the jail thing fixed. We currently have 2 servers that are not working correctly in there. Plus, we have to replace 6 of the computers that we have in the master control system there that actually work with the server and work with all the cameras within the jail. And they're not Windows 10 compliant, which the old system, I guess Windows 10 wasn't around or wasn't on the horizon, but we have to repair those and to get that system back up and operational. Currently, over half of it is down right now. So this is not a total new installation. This is just a repair to our current system that we have in the jail. And so we talked to a bunch of people. We got our IT people involved in it. We got their IT guys. So we went out and looked for the very best price possible. There are 80 cameras within the jail there, and this actual system here will work with them. There are 6 on the outside part of the jail that the servers may not be compatible with, so we're going to try to lock those cameras in place, and when we install the new system, we're hoping that they'll come back up. Those are actually pan and tilt cameras. They move. They're able to be moved around. And so to cut costs, we're planning on locking those into position and hoping that the new server system will work efficiently with them and remain in focus. That's the biggest thing. But yes, that's what we've been doing. And we're kind of on a crunch deal here because, as y'all well know, the jail commission requires that a lot of this stuff be videoed at all time and be able to be viewed. And so we're diligently trying to get this up and running as soon as possible.
What's the cost?
Oh, the cost on this part, and it comes with the servers. I guess I need to start sending y'all a copy of this so y'all can read all of this too. 6 cameras, the install of the 2 new servers, the configuration of them. It's a total of $95,447. There are licensing agreements that have to go with the cameras and things of that sort, but since they work in this system, in this particular type, we do not have to get those licensing.
And Sheriff, I know this is more of a repair than a new installed because we already had those cameras and some of them have gone down. The reason I put it on there for that alternatively going out for bids for the purchase and installation was my understanding was that this is not the same company that originally put them in. And so since we had to get the agenda posted, I was a little concerned that if we got up here and this was not the same company, the auditor may tell us because of the 95,000, it's over 50,000 where we ordinarily have to go out for bids on. So that's why I added that language in there. But Larry, do you have any input on that?
Do have to go out for bid.
The only thing, there is that provision that if it's, if it's an emergency that we need to, then we can, the Commissioners Court can, I don't know what we have to do, declare that and waive that bid requirement. Which in this case, it may very well, I mean, because we need those cameras.
Yes, sir. I can go into the emergency part of it if you'd like, but I was trying to save the court the problem of having to listen to that. If this actually, yeah, it's okay. If this part of the rest of the system goes down, then the jail immediately goes on 15-minute watches. 15 minutes, 24 hours a day. By the time that a jailer walks that part, he's right back to doing it again. And with our current staffing situation in there, which we have plenty of them, it's going to cause undue hardship on them, and may actually, depending on what's going on out there at the jail, may actually have to bring in some other jailers to help facilitate that walking of the floor and checking on each and every one of them. It hasn't got to that part, but I guarantee you that if it does, with those other two that are currently out, if the rest of them fail, there's several servers in there. I'd be more than willing to show you what I'm actually talking about, because it's hard to explain it to you if you don't actually see it. But yeah, it is in the realm of an emergency situation, and that's why I'm here. And that's why I was here last week at the last court and told you that I was holding off on doing that other part with the watch guard system, because I knew this was up. I knew this thing had failed, and that's why we're trying to get it done as soon as possible.
And is my understanding correct that this company is not the same one that put in the cameras originally?
It's not. That company no longer exists.
Okay, so Larry, does that make a difference if they don't exist anymore and we couldn't go back to them to repair these?
Not really. It's just 50,000. But if y'all decide it's an emergency, y'all can declare that and go forward.
I do want to. Yeah, if somebody needs to include that in their motion, okay. Yeah, I'm letting you know. I consider it an emergency.
I guess you all have gotten some references from this company to make sure that we think they'll be around, or that they do a good job when they.
I'm hoping so, Judge. It's kind of hard to predict that part. It's kind of like predicting the inmate population, but I will let you know that we've already had them up here. We've had them look at it. We've had them give us the very best cost analysis on this thing in order to get it up and running. And like I say, as you know, computer systems, they have about a 5-year lifespan. I want y'all to know that when the jail was created and when that system was actually went on board and fired up, it was back in 14 is when it actually came online, and when all the racks were built in San Antonio, and that's where they ran the whole time. And then when they brought them out here and did the install, and they have been running nonstop every minute of every day since back in 14.
So sure. So these folks are ready. They're ready to go. They're ready to install.
They're ready to come. Well, I've got to get the approval though to go ahead and tell them. Yeah. They're ready to configure the servers. the
And
two
if we
servers.
have to go through the bidding process, that would take a while.
Oh, yeah, that would take, Larry, how long of a delay would that be? If we had to go through the bidding process, how long of a delay would that be? A month or better? Or?
Yeah, probably a month.
Then if it went down.
Between now and then,
Well, some of it is down now.
Yes.
but I
yes.
mean, if it all go down,
Yeah.
you'd be in a big bind.
Correct.
Well, I could see where it could be deemed an emergency.
I can see that.
I can see
too.
that very clearly, so.
Well, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
So now we have the money budgeted somewhere?
I wanted to let y'all know that currently within the budgets that I manage, all of them, I have the ability to pay for this. I do know that there will be, that you may have to move it, you may have to move it around somewhere. But we do have sufficient funds within the budgets that I manage, the 6 or 7 budgets there to adequately pay for this. I'm hoping. I had called them back. I got to call them back and get them to building and configuring. And yes, hopefully, what's this, the 10th? Yes, I believe that they'll be able to. As soon as we get back to the office, I'll make those 2 phone calls, one to the Southern Health Partners and one to them, to have them expedite this, because they understand the severity and the complexity and the emergency situation of having something of this magnitude go down.
Well, I'll move we approve the purchase and installation of the camera system for $95,447 in the event, or that it is an emergency purchase that we have to do to keep the jail operations in effect.
Second.
So that we would waive the declared exempt from the bid requirements.
Correct, yes, sir.
Any other questions or discussion on it? All in favor of the motion to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Appreciate that, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. And now number 11, to consider approval of the state plan of operations authorizing the sheriff's office to participate in the LESO program.
Yes, sir. That's that annual 1033 program that we usually participate in to facilitate equipment, decommissioned equipment from the military, if need be. This is an annual thing that usually occurs.
Yeah.
Is it a cost or just?
No, there's no cost.
I move we approve.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, is that it?
Yes, that's it. Thank you,
All right,
gentlemen.
thanks, Sheriff.
I appreciate it.
All right, number 12, to consider approval of advertising for temporary personnel in the elections department.
For the early voting, which actually didn't start until October, but we wanted to get it posted so that we have enough time to find. Currently, she has 5 open temp positions. It's 7 that are budgeted, but 2 are coming back and she's not sure. So that's why we wanted to go ahead and get it posted so we can get some folks hired.
Move to approve for advertising.
Second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Dana. Okay, 14, to consider approval of the preliminary plat of Reservation Ranch subdivision in Precinct 2.
Preliminary plat for 267 acres, 60 lots. had discussions with the engineer about the fact that we probably will not accept the roads from county maintenance, that they'll remain private roads. I've also been in touch with Paul Tiber with Hill Country Underground Water Conservation District, and we'll see what they decide on it. But right now, it looks like their aquifer for this subdivision would have to go down to the Trinity, which is about 900 feet of well depth, which will require a different type of well drilling operation than most people do in the county. So. Yes.
You say, what would the private street?
They'll probably remain private roads.
Correct. Private roads. And in reference to this map, into the plat, I feel like I need to recuse myself from making a motion or voting on it, just due to a conflict of interest, that my family owns the property adjacent to it, and I just feel like I'm not saying I'm opposed or in favor. I think I need to recuse myself from voting on it. Thank you.
So everything looks good for the preliminary plat, Wayne? Everything's
Preliminary,
for
yes,
now?
Yes, sir, for now. Yep.
I would move that we approve the preliminary plat for Reservation Ranch subdivision.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor of
Roads remain
approving?
private, or will they be accepted for county maintenance?
Oh, I don't think we're interested in any kind of accepting any roads. I mean, it's just not my precinct, but if it were mine, no, I would not accept it.
And if it were mine, they'd
Well,
stay private.
we have a lot of subdivisions that in all of our precincts that have private roads. You know, my recommendation, everybody's have a homeowner association, an active homeowner association where they contribute to a road fund. Just if we took in all the roads in the county that are in these new subdivisions, we'd be building roads.
We can't only manage what we have, you know, and I'm not in favor at all anymore of accepting more roads. That's my personal opinion.
Isn't it on the preliminary that they're private roads? I believe so. I think I saw a note on there when I looked at it briefly last week. Is that correct?
Except for the one about maintaining a homeowner association. Still got that number 4 note.
Okay. Is that up for discussion?
All in favor of approving the preliminary plat, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Wayne. Okay, 15, to consider moving personnel in precinct 1 from full-time to seasonal. Dana or Charles, or who's doing it?
This would be, one of the employees put in their notice as of the end of this week. They don't want to be full-time anymore, but they would like to do seasonal or as needed. And so we do have one position available. This would be similar to what we did for precinct 2, where we have somebody that comes in as needed. And this employee is, he would take a pay cut to what we gave the precinct 2 employee of $16.36 if it gets approved. And it's Daniel Eckhart.
Be available down the way. That one has to get. Not approved.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor of approving that personnel move, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. 16, to consider setting a public hearing to revise the plat of tracts 30 and 31 in the Eagles Crest subdivision in precinct 2. The earliest we could do that would be at our first meeting in September, which would be September 14th, which means that we would have to advertise notices in the paper on August 19th, which is next week, not this week, but next week, and then the 26th and September 2nd. Doable?
I move we set the public hearing for revising plat of tract 30 and 31 of Eagle Crest subdivision, precinct 2 for September 14th.
Second.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 17, to consider approval of purchase of an attachment for a skid steer at the county yard.
Yeah, Judge, I put that on. We have, this is something we talked about budget time, but it appears that we have enough funding left for this year in the countywide budget, and I thought it might be prudent for us to go ahead and purchase it now if we can, and get that out of our hair. So I have a quote here from Ewell Kubota where the skid steer came from, and it's that land pride tilt attachment. The retail price was $29.29, and they're going to give it to us for $26.54. The quote is valid on current inventory only. I'm not sure if they still have it or not. So the quote is $2,654 for current inventory, but I would say not to exceed $2,800. That will be my motion to purchase this attachment for the skid steer.
Second.
Questions or discussion on it? Not all in favor of the motion to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. 18, to consider approval of setting up a national data exchange account in the county attorney's office. Hey, Steve. You made it.
Morning.
What this allows us to do, we've been getting a lot of requests from the national database to provide them with status of cases and everything, and I think this will increase our efficiency. It allows us to do it a little quicker via email. It's free, there's no charge. Mr. Hyman will be the one that's primarily responsible for it, with Mr. Kruger backing him up. The only little kick in there is that if we use any of the information inappropriately, then we're responsible for it. We got to indemnify Texas DES, so that's the reason why we're here for it. It'll allow us to exchange offense reports, help increase accuracy of the national and state databases.
Yeah, and that was the only reason I suggested that they put this on, because there was a potential that if any of the information was used inappropriately, there's an indemnification clause in there, and we had potential liability, so I suggested that so that there be no future problems, that we should approve it before they do it.
I'll move we approve.
But I would suggest that you just give Steve the authority to sign off on that. I mean, it's not like a regular one of our contracts or financial obligations. You want to just give them the authority to sign off on it and get it set up.
I'll move we approve, giving Mr. Wadsworth the authority to sign.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, good to go. Thank you, Steve. All right, 19, to consider approval of proposal for cleaning, disinfecting, and/or sanitization of county facilities. You might recall that we had talked about this a little bit a few weeks ago, I guess we've got two proposals that I'm aware of. I don't know if we've got any other ones or not, but Larry or Ken, you'll want to talk to us about it?
morning. Yes, sir. JanPro put together a proposal based on a per square foot price. They come to us with a long list of some good references, it looks like. Blackman Mooring's proposal was a cost estimate based on the overall square footage, but their proposal was an estimate. It would actually be time and material. Whereas the JanPro proposal was more of a lump sum or an actual estimate or an actual bid. The JanPro bid or proposal was broken down into different options that went from a sanitation disinfectant only on up to every level possible that would include the disinfectant and microbial treatment and the deep cleaning would be first, but then the disinfectant and microbial cleaning, which is the 52 cent per square foot cost. That's on the last page of the JanPro proposal. Both companies had significant references, but it seems like JanPro they definitely have a longer list of references to fall back on or refer to.
So the 52 cents a square foot that was the maximum there for full service.
Right.
That's the Cadillac version?
That's Cadillac version. Deep cleaning, disinfectant treatment, and then the microbial treatment, which per their proposal actually lasts for a number of months. The initial disinfectant is a one-time approach, but then the microbial puts a layer on that's supposed to continue working for a number of months.
Are we concentrating this just on the bathrooms, or is this for the whole building?
This would be for the entire building, whichever building is ultimately approved to treat or deep clean and then treat. Got with John and went over the list of all county buildings, and he recommended the 7 that were listed on the proposal that came up to a total of 125,000 square feet. But that was just for the proposal. It could be adjusted as y'all see fit.
So, if we did all of those, and we did that, the one that's the 52 cents a square foot, then that would take us over the 50,000. So we'd have to get it bid out then, right? This is not my order, one to pull off.
JanPro's not, Blackman Mooring is the other company is.
Well, he just walked in. So, had you all talked to the sheriff about possibly, Sheriff, we're talking about getting a service in here to do a deep clean and sanitization of some of the county facilities. And we're talking about prices and what they would do. And I don't know if you would want to include the jail. I think currently that would be included in this, wouldn't it, Ken?
It's on the proposal.
Okay. We're looking at 7 of the county facilities that they would come in and do a deep clean and then
Fogging.
Some kind of environmental.
Fogging, the disinfectant, and then a microbial treatment.
I think probably the upper part of the jail, the part downstairs, they clean it every day. That thing is, inside is sanitized, inside the lower part where the inmates are. But the upstairs part where the courtroom is, the adult probation and all that, I think that would be a great place to do
You
it.
wouldn't need it in the jail part.
Not in the jail part itself, because downstairs where the jail offices are, but not actually inside the secured part of it, because the inmates and our staff, they clean daily, all day long, all the time, 24 hours a day. There's somebody cleaning in there and disinfecting.
So I don't know how many square feet that would knock off of this.
I think the bottom part is 20-something.
Okay.
20. I'd have to look at the deal.
We can check either. You can check your favor. John probably knows too. But
Let me, I can get back with you, or
Get with him and let him know what the bottom part of it is. I think the entire complex was 96 something square thousand, and the bottom part's 43. And so if you take out that part, it's pretty small down there where they're actually at, so it doesn't take up a lot of room. But if you're doing it by the foot, I'll get you
yeah, we are. And that's why if we take that part out, it may get us below that 50,000 cost then.
let me make 2 phone calls.
I'll find out for you before the court's over.
Okay.
So what, these 7 locations, what, it's a courthouse and the library and the 2 annexes? Or just one?
I think it's just next one.
Annex 1? Terminal, would be terminal building or not?
Courthouse at 30,520 square feet. The library at 10,350 square feet. LEC is 16,700 square feet. AgriLife is 4,000. Annex 1 is at 4,400 square feet. Annex 2 is not on the list. The jail combined square footage is 47,000. And airport terminal, 2,100 square feet. And I think we might have mistakenly added the new agricultural building at 10,000 square feet. I don't think that doesn't need to be in there.
So then I think that plus the water with the jail,
That might knock it down
that'll
below.
get you under 50.
But would we want to do the AgriLife, do the he doesn't need to clean, but what about the microbial treatment that would stay for a couple of months?
That's true. Renewing that in 1%.
It doesn't have a problem now.
To prevent it I'm wondering what that would be.
I don't know.
What was the
I'm not
courthouse?
thinking we need it out there.
I don't either.
Courthouse
That's a new building.
is 47, no, the courthouse, 30,500 square feet.
What were you all saying?
We were talking about, I don't think we would need it out at the new one, at the new ag building. But that's just me. Ken, we need to decide which ones we want, but how do they have an estimate how long it would take them to come into these facilities? Would they do it on a weekend or while we're here, or would the offices be able to operate if they were doing it during week, or how does it work?
It'd have to be after hours, and someone from the county would have to be with them.
Somebody would have to be here to let them in and.
Yes, sir. The Blackman mooring proposal outlined their schedule real well.
I didn't see anything in the other one.
And it came out to 3 days or 3 evenings total to treat all the buildings that were on the list.
This would be funded through that special money that we got
Yeah,
from the state or the feds or?
we think that would qualify, don't we, Larry? That it would fall under that CARES Act funding?
CARES
It
Act
should. It
Okay.
should.
That's pretty
I
important.
mean, we can't,
Well, I know we can't guarantee it.
It's not
Broken out per floor.
But
otherwise we're not gonna be able to do for hardly anything.
You know, but why wouldn't that work for that?
We think it would.
So the sheriff is thinking that the square footage on the county jail will be cut basically in half, which would,
The secure part is probably gonna take out about half of that.
so that would definitely,
Yeah.
50 is what it shows on one of these estimates.
47 is the total.
It'll be like 22, 23.
Somewhere around
Yes,
there.
sir.
Because when they, on that thing right there, that's the entire building. You're gonna take out, if you just took off the bottom part of it, it would be about half. There are a few offices down there, a little bit for them to clean, but
That was saying what that was going to do.
That'd be, bring it below that.
So if we said
Threshold.
22 and then take off the new ag building, 32, that should get us below so that we wouldn't have to bid it out.
Should.
If we wanted to go with JanPro, the other one, like they said, it's on buy board, and so they've already got that bid out. That's what it looked like when I kind of thumbed through there too. It, much more detailed and comprehensive.
If you took the jail, the bottom of the jail, and that 10,000 square foot building, that would be about 48. Roughly.
And again, the Blackman mooring proposal was basically an estimate. It would end up being time and material. Whereas,
who knows what that
yeah, whereas,
I mean, they estimated right under 25,000, which is significantly less than the other one, but I couldn't really tell from their proposal how detailed they get with their cleaning or sanitization and, yeah, the other one was much more comprehensive, it looked like. And like you say, it's just an estimate. All of a sudden, they may come up and say, well, instead of 25, it's 50. Do we know when they come in, they can clean around or spray? I mean, do people have to secure everything or put everything away, or can they just basically when they come in and fog it, that wouldn't damage any of the stuff that people have? Or do we know?
Well, at least, I know for sure, they've done it for a lot of different companies and stuff. So,
I think we need to do it, especially
Well, I do
if
too.
it qualifies under that CARES Act funding.
But I can't put everything away in
Be
my
a good
office.
opportunity. Yeah, I can't either.
I don't know where I would put it.
I'll bring mine down to your
Oh,
office.
well, we'll just, there won't be anything left, no room to sit. You would think that they'd have, I mean, everybody can't, I mean, they've got to be able to work into an office that you can't have to remove everything, I wouldn't think. It's gotta be some kind of a fume again or something that, but if not, we'd be in a world of hurt countywide.
Yeah.
These companies have had a lot of practice here lately.
I bet they,
Yeah, I'm sure they have.
or do we need to just wait until we get more of a better square footage, or we can just have
Not
to, or vote
exceed.
to keep it under 50,000, or, I mean,
I know y'all don't quite agree with me, but I still think that the microbial treatment on that new AgriLife building, because there's gonna be a lot of kids going in and out of there, and then if we do our juries out there's gonna be a lot of people going in and out of there. If that would be a way to try to protect them. I don't know.
how many square feet is that, the new AgriLife?
The new AgriLife?
10,000.
10,000.
Well, then we'd be back over the 50.
But we're not doing the cleaning. All we want to do is, all I'm thinking about is just microbial treatment for the 2 month, or the several months treatment. We're not doing the cleaning. It should be less than 50%.
Have that option.
You do or don't have that option?
You have that option.
What is that per square
Is that
foot?
at 35 cents a foot, just for the microbial?
So that is quite significant yet.
Yeah.
35 cents square foot.
35?
That'd be close to 50.
Well, you're right there.
You would take Donnie's office out of there.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be money square foot. 100?
There, if that.
I mean, in that square footage, I hope that's not considering Mary Lynn's storage room down there or the boiler room. I mean, that's hard to say.
I need to follow up on that.
Or upstairs?
I'm wondering,
I mean, do we,
The old
I
jail?
guess that's the question, do we need that done or not?
I would think not.
I would think not too, but, so we needed to see if that's included in these figures.
I'll follow up with John.
And like Charles said, down in the basement, in Mary Lynn's storage down in the basement, and the boiler room, I mean,
and that's not many square feet, but it is some.
yeah.
I'll follow up and make sure the square footage is appropriate to what actually needs to be treated. These square footages came from
Chart, a page from the long range plan.
The old,
Is it across the street?
Yeah, we shouldn't need that.
No, I know, but it's not included in here, is it? No.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to check and make sure, because we're right at that 50,000, without the new ag building getting.
Well, is time of the essence here? Do we need to do it?
Well, I don't think time is of the essence. We can put it back on the next agenda. We just want to get it done,
Well,
over the next couple of months.
But I think probably, get more information, is what the cost would be. After our discussions this morning, I think we know more what direction we're trying to go here. And
Yeah,
since we're right at close to that threshold, it may be worth looking into the pricing again to see where we are.
yeah.
And I have a tendency to agree with Charles, if we could do the microbial treatment out there as well, would probably be beneficial to the, if we can stay on that 50,000, a lot of these facilities, we're not doing some of the upstairs or storage closets or something, maybe it can keep it under that 50,000.
Okay, so no action this morning?
That's what I would think.
That's what I think.
Okay, Ken, if you could get us a little more information on that, and especially about what's included in, if it's upstairs and the basement or just these main floors, and we just need to try to see if we can get that square footage down enough to get under the 50,000 cost.
I'll follow up on that and get that information back to y'all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Okay, so no action. We'll put it back on the next agenda then. All right, so I guess we can pay some bills then.
Did we do number 13?
We didn't do 13.
We didn't do 13? Oh, I'm sorry. No, we didn't. Consider approval of purchase of laptops for the sheriff's office and constables. Morning, John. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I was getting ready to wave my hand at you. About 3 years ago, we started a project to put computers or mobile data terminals into patrol cars, both for the sheriff's office and constables. And at that time, also, the federal government and the state of Texas came back and mandated that all law enforcement change to a different reporting system. So at that time, we decided to go ahead and just lease the computers to put in the patrol cars, thinking that we might have to change them out in 3 years. As it turned out, we can continue to use those computers. They work fine with the new system we're putting in September. So what we'd like to do is go ahead, that lease is up this month. We'd like to go ahead and just buy out the remainder of that lease and just purchase those computers and keep them. We can probably use them for another 2 years. To do that, it's going to cost $17,400 to do it, and then we will just own the equipment.
So if we didn't buy them out, we would go into another new lease, or?
If we don't buy them out, then they'll start, the lease will automatically start back up again. But in 2 years from now, if we want to keep them, then we'll have to buy them again. Either way, I think the leasing cost will end up being about 20-something thousand a year, because we're paying that now. This way, we're just doing $17,000 one time, we're done with it. Yeah, to replace the equipment costs close to $100,000, and we just didn't.
Second. Questions? All in favor of approval, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, John. Okay, now we can pay some bills.
I move we approve our bills and claims and payments via electronic fund transfers.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, journal entries and budget amendments. Thank you, Mackenzie.
Share to other office supplies from office equipment. Journal entry T264 is the cash allocation to fund fiscal year 19-20 budgets for the Road and Bridge Precinct. Journal entry T270 corrects the misposting of time payment fees collected after January 1st of 20. Journal entry T272 is a capital improvement cash transfer for budget year 19-20. And budget amendment BA 20.11 increases the line items for hourly temporary employees and overtime, and decreases line items for building office space and election expense for the elections department. None of these budget entries or journal entries change the county's overall adopted budget for fiscal year 20.
I move to approve our journal entries and budget.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Payroll claims and expenses.
I move we approve our payroll claims and related expenses.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Departmental reports and fees of office.
I move we approve our departmental reports and fees of office.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. If there's nothing else, why don't we take about 10 minutes and we can reconvene downstairs, talk a little bit about budget.
Mark, well, I guess we can do it downstairs too. They're wanting to do a relief route. Not proposal, demonstration in court. You and I just got Donnie, we got email. So you'll need to look at that as a date. From Kathy Krotz.
Got the sign in?